Yes.
If I could add on to that with an observation and a question in international relations goes with it. I know we've always had a problem with, labor from Mexico, but as I understand it, the problem really became acute in the mid-1990s with NAFTA, where a lot of agricultural laborers were pushed off of their land. And part of the problem now, I think, would be to somehow work with the Mexican government to help them solve their domestic economic problems without, foisting a redundant labor force onto us.
Certainly a good point. It is. But we do need some of the workers, but we need them to be legal.
Yeah.
People shouldn't have to live the way they're living. That's not right.
My understanding is the great majority of the undocumented workers that are here came here on a visa.
And they overstayed.
And they overstayed their visa.
It is over 50%.
Yeah, and I've been to several presentations on it, and it seems like if we address that situation, then we could deal with it. Because if we really are at very low unemployment right now, obviously we do need a huge number of those people, and there are several industries in this country that are totally dependent on that labor force.
Well,
Meatpacking, agriculture,
right.
Textile. There's
and they're cheating too. The meat packers, look at what they're doing.
Right.
But when you look at the history of this, and everything worked fine until '65 when we changed the law. The workers used to come across legal, right, and they would work, and then they'd go home. Once we made it illegal for them to do that, then they had to bring their family with them, and they were afraid to go home, right? And you look at the numbers and look through the history of what the impact that had. See, we're just too quick to listen to these sound bites, and that's what I'm talking about. My big argument with Rohrabacher is he's too surfacey. He makes these comments about the prisoners picking the fruit, when as stupid, plus we've already tried that before. As stupid as the idea is, that already happened. He doesn't even know that. So, yes.
Well, I'm an immigrant myself. If we don't give jobs to these people, they never come. So why blame them? We are offering jobs, they come.
Yeah.
I mean, now the bad people are coming. They are not the bad people coming. We are the one who are offering jobs. And we need them. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, I have my garden. Do you think I'm going to fire him? Unless I see his ID? I'm not going to do it. Were you going to do it? Why we expect the government to do that?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Certain things we accept. Well, we cheat driving. Instead of going 55 miles, we go 60. That's cheating. But we accept it. Why can't we cheat a little bit there?
Okay, or why can't we
Make it
make it, if we need them, why can't we find a way
A way to do
to
it.
change their status?
We need to make the
Provide an opportunity.
I really don't see where the problem, why the Mexicans that are here, they are the guilty people, they're not.
one thing, anyway, I think you see where I stand on that, right? I wanted to mention something that I really appreciate your help with is we're having a huge event. It's our annual barbecue, and it's at the El Dorado Park in Long Beach on September 24th. It'll be a major media event. We'll have entertainment, and we're trying to get Garamendi there and Deborah Bowen and people of that caliber. But I need a huge turnout. It'd be such a big thing for the campaign. So I'd like everybody to keep that in mind.
Okay, we'll be there.
I'm not going to let you go on the war.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because, it seems obvious to us when we've been doing these, we're out on the streets every Wednesdays and Fridays, and there's a major tide that's turned. It seems obvious, even Orange County has really gotten tired of this war and wants the troops home.
Well, and let me tell you how I've been talking about the war with Republicans, okay? Because I'm sick of being told that you're non-patriotic if you want, or cut and run, is that what you've been hearing?
Oh, bullshit.
Right? Have you heard? Yeah. But those types of phrases, right? And what I've been talking to them about is I've been using the analogy to a corporation. When I was at Security Pacific, if we introduced a new product line or a new service, do you think the board of directors says, just go ahead and take as long as it takes? And if you keep losing money, we'll just keep giving you more. Trust me, they don't do that. You're up there once a week with the numbers, with where are you against your plan, what's going on. None of that has happened. And the situation in Iraq, we shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so sick of hearing this, you don't support the troops. Well, the best support of the troops is if we never went there, so they wouldn't have been there. Right? Yeah. then, okay, but now that we're there, the second best thing would be to get rid of Rumsfeld. Right? Because he won't listen to his own generals, he won't, they insist on this. They could have had a political solution a year ago. And they just don't, it's so political. And that's the whole thing I've been fighting against. Bush does not want to budge from his initial concept. He's trying to drive our form of government down their throat. And it's not going to work, and everybody knows it. You've got 3 different groups there. And they're at odds with each other. And since back when I went to school, when you had internal people killing each other, that was a civil war, This isn't Al-Qaeda, this is, right? These are internal people. When they set up the Constitution there, they set it up with the provinces, and they had a provision in there for the area governments. It's set up where they could operate independently somewhat, and then you could have a centralized government that would distribute the oil revenues and control the borders. But the rest of it, there's no reason that it has to be like the U.S. form of government. It's not going to, yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Perhaps even more than the type of government it looks like we may be imposing on them, I think one of the big problems is the whole issue of wealth, where it's gone and where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that this is going to be like the occupation of Japan. Well, I'll tell you, want to look at one big difference with the occupation of Japan. The American occupation protected the Japanese economy.
Mm-hmm.
We did not allow foreign-owned companies to come in and, reappropriate their profits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a big difference right there. We did not have multinational contractors coming in and subcontracting jobs to people other than the people in that country, so that we were actually contributing, to that. We protected their currency. I mean, Iraq has just had a hemorrhage of capital, as well as a hemorrhage of, qualified, talented people.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at a 50-60% unemployment rate, and you look at $9 or $10 billion that are missing that's supposed to go in to employ those people.
Yeah.
You look at the definition of victory and you scratch these guys, it's going to be 12 permanent military bases, and for the major oil companies, it's going to be production sharing agreements, which are very profitable for them. That's what victory means to these people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think most people in Orange County and Long Beach, from what we've seen, they're sick of the war. They already know it's a mess. They've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
But the one unifying thing that's allowing a lot of Republicans to cross the line, it seems to me, is the war.
Mm-hmm.
That they're tired of it, and that's the one thing I think
Well,
that will get the vote.
And what I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
strong about
don't
it.
buy this that it's not supporting the troops, and don't buy that you can't have a timetable. That is so ridiculous. I heard that in Vietnam, and there's no truth to it. Nowhere else in our society would we allow somebody to just go on as long as they want and not have a timetable. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you like a quick aphorism to this counter to cut and run, it's when you've dug yourself into a hole, the first rule is stop digging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And I think that we've got the greatest military on the face of the earth. They could get the troops out of there in 6 months, safely, without, that's not the problem. It's that the Bush doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to get away from stay the course, and it's a political thing. We don't have Douglas MacArthur. In Japan, he protected their economy, and he set up the rules, and he wasn't political. He didn't care about politics. And he would have been running for president if that's what he cared about. We don't have a Douglas MacArthur in Iraq. So, you guys, oh no, I'm just, okay. Yeah, so, anyway, I really need your help, and I feel strongly about these things, and I think the most important thing is we have a responsibility to make the world better for our grandkids, and we're not doing it. I think of my parents, what they went through, and how much better the world was. I'd like to think we could do that too. So I really appreciate it.